Hi guys, Tim from Sports Gamer HD, back with another episode of the QPR Series. Today we have got a Champions League game, and yes, that means we did beat Ajax, and I'll reveal all about that in due course. But first of all, we've got to look at transfers, and because the transfer window is of course finished, and it was ongoing last episode because we played Arsenal in the Community Shield, and we lost. We were really poor that game. I think we lost 3-0, I think it was off the top of my head. But yeah, nothing was happening then with regards to transfers, but something, it was quite interesting because I mentioned Theo Walcott, and I mentioned that teams were prepared to offer about 20 million. I was holding out for 25. Well, that changed because I don't know. I just looked at it and thought 20 million up front seemed pretty good, and Newcastle, Juventus, and Chelsea were all prepared to offer that. Turns out he went to Newcastle for £20 million up front plus 40% of his next transfer fee, which I always find becomes really useful. Becomes really useful in the future because on last year's game I did the similar thing with Shinji Kagawa. I had him for Leicester and I sold him to Real Madrid. I made, I think it was like 12 or 15 million pounds off that 40% fee. So who knows? Theo Walcott, that may come really handy in the future. And look at this. Stefan El-Shaarawy and Mario Balotelli. That's the interesting one there. Balotelli, £575,000 when he was valued at 10. Manchester City were desperate to go to him, and you can see why in his history. From what, 2012-13 season? 11 games. This is league games to talk about. Obviously I can see there's overall down there, but we're looking at league games here. 11 games, 2 goals. 5 games, no goals. Didn't play. Went on loan to Arsenal, didn't feature, and then came to us. So yeah, they really didn't have any use for him. Desperate to get rid of him. He was on £100,000 a week. He's now on 80,000. So it was a cheap risk, I could say, because there must be a reason they're not playing him. He's a world-class player. I personally don't see why. Yeah, and you see that, look, £30 million transfer revenue, which is great for us because obviously we do need a new stadium, so it all helps. The wages are a little bit high with that 80,000, and then you got El-Shaarawy on 47.5. It's a little bit costly, but we're so financially brilliant in terms of wages, as you can see here. We're not even spending £1 million, and we've got over £1.5 million to spend. So actually, I need to edit that a little bit. There we go. Things are even better now. So with regards to fixtures, we would have been obviously Community Shield. Yeah, we did lose 3-0 last game against Arsenal, with no goals obviously for us. Then we played Ajax just a couple of days later, or a couple of weeks later actually, and in the Champions League best placed playoff thing, Junior Hoilett scored, Frank Tabanu scored and got injured. We got injured in game shortly after that or something, but he's injured anyway. That's the bottom line. He's injured. Adam Wilson and Theo Walcott scored. Okay, Theo Walcott's not with us anymore, but he scored. So yeah, we won that 4-1, and that was the home leg. Then we played Cardiff in the Premier League. Giuliano and Junior Hoilett got the goals, beating them 2-0. Then we went to Ajax and drew 1-1. Reece Williams got an early goal, and that was the nail in the coffin. We just shut up shop and got it done, so that was pretty good. Very efficient performance. Drew 1-1 away in Ajax. Then we played Reading at home, beat them 1-0. Carlos Vieira got the only goal of the game, which was really frustrating because Kieran Gibbs did get injured near the end of the game, but they had 2 players sent off, and we weren't able to destroy them. Basically, we should have destroyed them. Junior Hoilett did miss a penalty fairly early on as well, actually. But yeah, they were a couple men down, and we should have punished them. But 1-0, we got it done. So we got the 3 points, regardless of the scoreline. Then this game, I rotated the team slightly. A couple reasons, because of fatigue, because of this game against Borussia Dortmund, as you can already see by now. Because of obviously I want to rotate, and also we had a couple of suspensions. Players aren't registered for certain competitions. It's all, there's different politics with this squad now because of the quality of it and how I've got to register a certain amount of players for each competition, etc. So rotation, and it did backfire. Bite us in the bum this game, losing 2-0 away at Fulham in a derby game. Of course, the players, we were poor. We didn't turn up at all. Maybe it was probably due to the selection, to be honest, because I had to rotate the team. But whatever. Today we're playing against Dortmund, but in the Premier League we're currently sitting in 8th after 3 games. Teams around us have got a game in hand because we were busy with the Ajax tie. So not doing too badly so far. With regards to our Champions League draw, group stage, we have got Group F, and we got a really, really tough group. Spartak Moscow, Borussia Dortmund, and Benfica. So, yeah, really tough. And in the Capital One Cup, we've drawn Southampton. So things don't get really very easy for us at all. This, I've only just seen that month, actually. That looks pretty scary coming up. This little stretch of run of games here, that looks frightening. I think from that game, off the top of my head, from that run of games, our next few games, Sunderland, Southampton, West Brom, that's about it. They're the games that I'd expect us to win, but obviously we've got a very good squad ourselves, so we'll have to see what happens. But today it's Dortmund, and we did play Dortmund last year. Balotelli, does not play today. His fitness isn't quite right. He did come on for the back end of the Fulham game, but was largely ineffective. But the game was gone at that point, so it's not too, I'm not too disappointed with him for that. But today Dortmund, and we did go toe to toe with Dortmund last year in the Europa League, I believe it was, and it would have been, of course. And we did okay in the home leg, and then we went to their place and fell apart. But that was down to us having such a large amount of intense games against big teams, where we were going to hit our limit at some point, and it just happened to be the Dortmund game. Whereas today, hopefully, we've not had such big games. Hopefully, Hernandez is through. Hernandez finishes it, and that is why Chelsea want to buy him. In the game, that is. Sorry. So yeah, hopefully today we can do okay. The Theo Walcott sale I did on I think it was deadline day or the day before deadline day or something like that. It was done so quickly. I literally offered him out to clubs for 20 million. Instantly, I got 3 offers in from Juventus, Chelsea, and Newcastle, I think it was. And there was a couple of other teams interested in monitoring the situation, I guess. And then I clicked again, and it was done. The deal was done. He was at Newcastle. So it happened really quickly because I signed Balotelli. And I was going through my registration for the Premier League, and I was thinking, right, who do I keep? Balotelli, Walcott, or I was contemplating with the idea, toying with the idea of not registering Simão, but I thought, I need a balling midfielder, and I need another defensive-minded midfielder. I can't rely on Reece Williams and then playing Rodwell there and stuff like that. I can't rely on that, so I do need to get rid of a striker. And Walcott was the only option to get rid of, really, because teams were interested in him. So it just made it a lot more a lot simpler to get the deal done. But Williams is coming off now. Actually, speak of the Devils coming on. El Shaarawy also played against Fulham. I didn't start him. He came off the bench, and again he was largely ineffective because I played him on his not preferred side. I played him on the left rather than on the right because I think it was Redmond was playing. But again, the game was done by then, so not too fussed. Things are going okay at the moment. Hopefully we can pause it. Don't want to concede a goal. Teixeira going for Giuliano. Rodwell's fitness is an issue, but Dave's is an even bigger one. Dave, you've got to come off. Switch those two over. Hopefully that won't screw me. There we go. I can't believe how hard this Champions League group is. Well, but to be honest, in a really weird kind of way, well, it's not that weird actually. I prefer it this way. I'd rather us have Dortmund, Benfica, Spartak Moscow, or even a Paris Saint-Germain, a Barcelona, a Real Madrid. I'd rather have that than some obscure teams, because the whole point of the Champions League, the whole excitement of the whole thing, is playing against the big teams and testing yourself, testing your team to see how far you've come or how good you really are. And that's the interesting thing, I think. So I'd rather it be this way, but I'd like it a little bit easier. Maybe one team that we can, come. I thought we just screwed up big time there. I'd like, at least one team we could destroy, but I have a good chance against. But we're doing okay against. Oh, should I finish it? No, I should have finished it. Should have gone with the first time shot instead of trying to pull it back. I was actually looking through some of the history of some of the other teams, and most notably Paris Saint-Germain, and they've spent millions, as I'm sure they do on every. Oh, do not score now. No. Oh, come on. We got basically 92 minutes. We basically got to, and then we decide to concede a. That is annoying. That is annoying because we had the game. It was done. Only a minute to go. I'm going to set. Calmly tell I'm unlucky because I don't want to piss them off. Because to go away to Dortmund's good. Yeah, get a point. That's really good. But to have it 1 minute away from 3 points in Dortmund. That is annoying. That's devastating. That's really annoying. That's really, really annoying. Maybe if we had Dave on, if he hadn't got fatigued or injured or whatever was wrong with him, maybe we would have. Maybe he would have cleared it. Who knows? But okay, right, we got a point. We didn't lose. So next episode will be Benfica. I'm not going to do the West Brom game. I'll do the Benfica game next, I think. Yeah, right, we'll do the Benfica game next. So leave a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.